So last week was actually my last spring break as a student, hopefully ever. And I was planning on taking everything super relaxed. I wasn't gonna focus on school, work, or YouTube for the first time in a pretty long time. That is until I got hit with an opportunity to buy my dream camera, and that all changed. And that's kind of what this story is about. So if you like videos, if you like videography, or young videographers learning how to perfect the craft, then this is a story for you. So the story all starts in St. Augustine, Florida, which is where we were planning on spending our spring break. And it's a short, 7.5 hour drive where temperatures raise by about 10 degrees and it gets about 100% more humid than where I live. But it's all beautiful, and as soon as we stepped out, I saw so much green, it felt like I was back in summer. I pulled out the Sony FE 10 II, the camera that I've used to film almost every single one of our YouTube videos here, and I just filmed anything I could. And it really reminded me that I started doing this because I just like to carry a camera around and to document random things. But, as I said in one of my last videos, I have this gear acquisition syndrome, so I'm always looking on marketplaces wherever I am. This time in Florida, I choose to check Facebook Marketplace for my dream camera, and it's a little too expensive, which is fine. It's been a little bit too expensive for a long time. The next morning, I decide I'm gonna check other websites, just eBay, MPB, whatever. And the price was better. It was a lot better than Facebook Marketplace. So we were getting close to buying my dream camera, but it still wasn't perfect, and until the very next day, MPB had a camera up in excellent condition for exactly the price that I was willing to pay. So rewinding maybe 2 years ago, I was a excessive money saver. I couldn't spend money on myself. The only things I ever spent money on were on dates for me and my girlfriend and gifts for the people I love. But spending money on myself always felt wrong for some reason. And these last 2 years, I've discovered, making videos, and I've been making money doing so. And it's kind of raised my confidence a lot. And it made me realize that investing in yourself is important. And for the first time ever, the other day, I didn't even second guess it. The price was right. It was the exact camera I've wanted for years. I clicked purchase. So what is this camera, right? That's kind of what everybody came here for. And it might come as a surprise, but as a video professional, I don't actually love using full frame sensors, which is industry standard nowadays. I think you get a little bit less creative because you have so much flexibility in post with a full frame camera that it almost limits your growth as a videographer. And maybe that's just me trying to stand out in a crowd, but so I've actually fallen in love with the Super 35 sensor and the image and the color and the texture that it gives. So I've always dreamt of buying the Sony FX30, which is the camera that we're filming on right now, which is still so surreal for me to say. So far, it's been nothing short of extraordinary. Literally everything that I wanted out of the camera. Its build quality is so much better than the ZV-E 10. Its size and weight is so much more professional, and yeah, I overall just love it. But with that said, I opened it in St. Augustine with more than a couple of days till I had anything planned to shoot. So I needed to find something to shoot. And that brings us to our second location of the story, which is Savannah, Georgia. We just a short drive from St. Augustine. On our way back home, my girlfriend and I stopped in Savannah, Georgia, and obviously we had to stop at all the local coffee shops that we had heard about in the past, which included Perk Coffee, a awesome coffee roaster that I've had a bunch of times, but I've never been to one of their locations. And to tell you I was blown away by this place is an understatement. It's a beautiful brick, almost like warehouse setting where they set up this coffee shop. It's really beautiful. And it was just the right place for me to film my first ever ad with this camera. Just a reminder, I was not paid for this, but I wanted to do this because I really am passionate about it and wanted to just play around with the camera. So without any further ado, here's the first ad I filmed with the Sony FX30. And that brings us to today, where I am right now. Right now I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, in my girlfriend's childhood bedroom, just talking to a camera because I've been just craving filming as much as possible with this thing. And I have no gripes with it so far. I mean, they say it's the same exact sensor as the ZV-E10 II, which I had, or have still, but it certainly feels different to me. I think the colors look better with this S-Log 3. I also think that the low light is actually surprisingly better, maybe because this actually has a more standard base ISO than the ZV-E10 II. With all of that said, I wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in, watching this video about me just talking about my dream camera, and watching all my other videos, because if it wasn't for the support I've been getting, I don't think I would have the confidence to have bought a camera like this and thought it was maybe worth the investment. So yeah, if you enjoyed this type of content and look forward to seeing me use this camera, please consider subscribing. And also, I'm going to leave my email down below. If you or anybody you know is in need of video work, please contact me through there, and I would love to work something out. I'll see you guys next week.